Welcome to the Bridge of Two podcast. Welcome back to the Bridge of Two podcast, everyone.
Yes, welcome everybody.
So
for our few and far between episodes nowadays.
Yeah, we're kind of naturally going to a monthly schedule, so we probably will just vibe with that, I think.
Yeah, at least for now, until we, maybe get things a little bit more situated on my end and stuff.
Oh, same here. Same here.
Oh, life just gets busy and it gets hard.
Right.
But I'm glad we can still at least meet up once a month to do these and gonna keep it going, Gotta
Definitely.
keep the bridge alive.
That's right, we gotta keep bridging the sci-fi and fantasy realms we love into a nerdcast of epic proportions for you.
Exactly. I have not heard that in a long time. Sounds good. Feels good.
It's our purpose, man. Our purpose statement.
Our purpose gives me purpose.
And focus.
Gives me focus is what I meant to say. Oh, so speaking of
anger,
how's it been going? Oh, what? How's it been going? What you been up to?
It's been good. Let's see, what have I been up to? I was playing Indiana Jones when last we spoke, because we did the Bridge of Two Awards.
That's true.
And or the Bridge of Awards, because I couldn't say it right. And I finished Indiana Jones. That was a lot of fun.
Was it good?
It was really good. It just, like, the ending was so extra wild. I don't know how you want to say it.
Just like Indiana Jones.
Yeah. So Indiana Jones. It's like the ending is like everything's real. Like,
yeah,
whatever they've been chasing is real.
It's real and it's super crazy.
I don't even want to say what I want to, but I don't want to, because whenever
because I'll probably end up playing, because I realize they have it on the Game Pass.
Oh yeah,
the Xbox Game Pass, which I currently have a subscription to, just because there's a lot of games on there that I actually play or am wanting to play. So, and I saw that it was on there, so I might pick that up and play it sometime in the near future.
Yeah, there's a part in the game where in like the last area place you go visit, and there's a thing there that was just like, oh wow, they're actually doing this. That's crazy.
I remember. So, like, obviously I've known about Indiana Jones forever, but I never really watched any of the movies until probably a couple years ago. I was dating Steph at the time.
Yeah.
I had seen the one with, I think, the second Indiana Jones. I've seen parts of it with my parents when I was younger, but I don't remember it because I was younger. So Steph and I decided to sit down and watch the first one, and I just was 100% not expecting it to go the way it did, and I was like, oh, these movies are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. And it's like the same formula too. It's every single movie it's the exact same formula. Like, it's like the formula of basically he doesn't succeed. It's just It's just because of the he only survives because of his respect for the mystical and the supernatural. But ultimately the bad guys get what they want, and it comes back to bite them. That's like the formula,
pretty much.
But it's such a fun ride every time, and the humor and the action and everything, and he's fighting Nazis and stuff. So anyway, yeah, it was really good. And yeah, very satisfying ending. And I actually still have played it a bit, because there's certain aspects built into the extra stuff that, like, make you want to go back and keep trying to finish stuff. And like, for example, there's I don't think I said this, because I don't think I gotten that far when I played it. I was playing it before. There's these artifacts you find in every single map that you, like, every single part of the world that you visit. There's these different artifacts that you'll find, and you'll just
Okay.
you just pick them up and you just have them. And then at the end of the game, in the last area, there's this one room you go into, and it's this huge room and this huge, like, really high ceiling, and there's in the wall, there's these holes in the wall for every single one to go in.
Oh.
And it's kind of like a little bit of a puzzle, but you need all of them to do it. And when you get all of them, apparently there's a secret ending. And so it's like, what's behind the door? You know, like, I want to see what's behind the door. And so I'm like so then it's like, as soon as I beat the game, I was like, I got to go back and find more of these things. I found almost all of them. I think I just need like 5 or 6 left, but I'm going to have to look up guides to figure out how to get them. Cause I'm looking at the map and I'm seeing it on the map and I'm like, I don't know how to get there. I have no idea. But, anyway, so
That's fun. It's a fun
Yeah.
little, extra little thing to put to the game.
Yeah.
Incentive to go back and play the levels again and stuff.
Right.
Or the areas, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it does get you to kind of like, do other stuff along the way too. Cause you're like, I could do this while I'm here, you know, cause I never got to this. But anyway, so that was fun. That's been fun. Been still writing more, like new stuff. I think I mentioned that last time. Like, I finished a chapter. I'm on another chapter.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm, definitely writing some things that were kind of like my some scenes are coming up there were like a North Star in my mind for a long time in this book, and like I knew like I was gonna end up here, and so I'm like actually making that reality in the book. So that's fun.
Nice.
And there's certain pieces that are like falling into place, that I'm seeing that I'm like, oh, this should go here. That at the time when I had the ideas, those pieces didn't exist. They just kind of happened because of writing, just creating. So it's fun. It's just still, there's just an aspect of it that's, it's slower than you want it to be. Getting there.
Yeah.
It's like
writing's a process.
Yeah. But, and then the last thing I'll just mention is my wife and I started watching this show Severance, which is kind of sci-fi.
Okay.
Because it's futurist, it's in the future, and there's this new technology, and people can split themselves essentially when they're at work. They're not aware of it. They're not aware of what they do when they're at work, and then whenever they're at home, or when they're at work, they're not aware of their home life or whatever. Essentially, it's like two people. And it's got Adam Scott from Parks and Recreation and a couple other things, and then most of the other actors I don't really know from much else, but it's super interesting and really fun, really good show. My wife have really enjoyed it. It's kind of it's got a slow burn, very patient pace. But the acting, the storytelling, and just the mystery of it just keeps you kind of on the hook, and it's really enjoyable. So.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about it, I think probably a couple weeks ago, and just it sounded intriguing, the premise of the story. I think what you were telling Steph and I about it or something. It sounds really intriguing.
It's really well done.
What's it on again?
It's on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, lame.
Yeah. Yeah, we got Apple TV Plus during Christmas because they had Charlie Brown. Christmas.
Okay, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I heard about the show Severance, and I was like, oh, we'll just keep it and watch Severance. So, and season 2 is like actively coming out right now, so we're just about caught up. I think we have one more episode, and then we'll be caught up.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm sure there's more, but that's the highlights, I think.
Nice.
What about you?
I got a few things. A lot of things that are really just starting. Obviously, I've been very busy at work, so I haven't been able to get too invested in anything. I have finally, from our last episode, started Wind and Truth.
Nice.
I am on day 4 now. Yes, I'm like 460, 470 pages in.
Okay.
Roughly. And I am just eating it all up. I'm also having to take it a little bit slower though, because I feel like there is so much information that is being thrown at you, and I'm trying to just
Savor it.
savor it and just like enjoy it and like really decipher it.
Right.
This will definitely be one I'll have to read again. Obviously, I'll read it again, but I'm gonna have to read again to get all the intricacies and stuff. I feel like there's just so much happening, and it's happening so fast.
Right.
But I will say, so far, I am absolutely loving Adolin's character in this book. I'm loving Adolin's character, and I'm very much enjoying... I already really loved Kaladin's character, but I'm really enjoying his growth into this book and what his character is kind of doing, what's happening with him. I don't know, I'm very much enjoying it a lot. I'll probably end up reading a little bit before I go to bed tonight, actually.
Nice.
So that's been obviously just... I mean, that's a given. That's just going to be good.
Right.
And I've been enjoying that. I've started a few things. I'm just started the anime Solo Leveling.
Okay.
If you've heard of that.
I did just hear... A coworker was just telling me about it the other day.
Yeah, I've read the first volume of it, and I really enjoyed it. And I keep seeing literally different scenes keep popping up on my Instagram feed, and I was like, I just got to give it a watch.
Yeah.
So I watched the first episode yesterday, and I'll end up continuing it. It just looks really good. The premise of the show / manga it's interesting. So I'm excited to kind of keep going with that. I also have decided to finally, I'm gonna go the reading route because it's gonna be quicker, but go through One Piece.
Okay.
I'm gonna read through One Piece. I've started that on. There's an app on you can get on the phone. A Shonen Jump app, and it's like $2 subscription a month. I think $2 or $3, something pretty cheap. So I've been getting that. And you can read all the volumes on there.
Nice.
So I started that up. So that's exciting.
Are you enjoying it?
I am so far. I've read / watched quite a bit in the past. Probably about 100 volumes. I've watched about what will be considered probably, I think, 100 volumes.
Okay. Wow.
But I don't really remember any of it. So I'm going back to the beginning. And this is a very common thing with me, is I will start something and I will get at least halfway through or a decent bit into it, and then I will stop, either watching, reading, playing, whatever. But it's something that I want to finish. So then, like, a year later, I'll come back to it, and I will not remember anything that I've done or happened, and I will feel like I have to start over. Yeah. And then I go to start over, and then I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then I never end up beating the game or finishing the book or whatever. And it's something I am personally trying to work on. I've done that with quite a few games, actually, that are in my backlog that I've gotten far in but have not beaten.
Right. Well, it seems like you have been working on that. Like, you've been going back and beating games and stuff recently. So keep it up.
I have, and there's a few more games I want to go back and beat, and I'm trying. I kind of like fell off a little bit there. I started going back and forth between games again, so I gotta fix it. But I do have a game coming up that I am. Well, we'll talk about obviously next episode because it's not out yet. But the game Avowed, you ever heard of it?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen much on it to know
it's
anything.
Obsidian Entertainment Games. I think they did. I know they did Pillars of Eternity.
Did they do? Did they do one of the KOTORs? Did they do?
I may actually. I think they.
Because
I want to make sure this is the right company before I start saying stuff. Okay, yeah. So they've done Pillars of Eternity. They've done The Outer Worlds. Neverwinter Nights 2. They have done KOTOR 2. And they're the ones who did Fallout New Vegas.
Okay. They did do KOTOR 2. Wow. I'm impressed. I thought I was making that up.
Yeah, I thought that they had done like Outer Worlds and Fallout New Vegas. I didn't want to say it without confirming. It looks like they also did South Park's Stick of Truth, which was a fun game.
It's What of Truth?
South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Oh, okay.
It's a South Park game, but it's like an RPG. It's South Park, but it's actually pretty fun.
Right.
Anyway, they are coming out with Avowed, and it's set in the same world as Pillars of Eternity.
Okay.
Which is I have not played those games. I keep meaning to, but I do know a little bit about the lore of the worlds and stuff like that.
Mm.
Basically, it's just another Skyrim clone.
Oh.
But the setting interests me more than Skyrim does.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes out Tuesday night, I think. Either Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm going to be playing that. And luckily, it's supposed to snow on Wednesday here. So I'm going to just be playing that all day long.
For safety.
Yeah. And science. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that game. But other than that, that's really kind of been it. Not too much. I'm hoping now that I've been released to practice at work and don't really have too much stuff I need to worry about as far as like studying and stuff goes. I'll be able to kind of devour a little bit more. Stuff I fancy. Got a couple movies and shows in mind that I want to watch. So finally got to get stuff to watch Dune here soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. But beyond that, what I just finished like 2 hours ago, is the 3rd episode of Arcane.
I actually just finished it too because I just rewatched I had them on my phone all afternoon.
Nice,
just to
nice.
rewatch because it's been a while. It's been a few weeks since I watched them. Before we start talking about it though, let's just mention, just for documenting our D&D journeys, that we did get a D&D or Star Wars D&D campaign. We got new life breathed into it, and we did another session. So after a couple years,
over a year, I think our last session was December 2023.
Yeah. Okay.
We were finally able to get everyone together, including our newest member, and to play a session. And it was a good one. Actually, we played it on my birthday.
Yep. That was perfect.
And it was a good session. I had a lot of fun. I'm really hoping that we can get everyone back together again and keep playing because I really enjoyed it. And it made me really excited to play the Stormlight RPG.
Me too. We're in a good place. Like we're in a good part of the campaign, like where it's really interesting, you know. So I feel like
I hope so.
We've got some momentum.
I've got like so many things in the back of my head that I want to see, that I know there's a lot of things happening that are hinted at to you guys that I have in the back of my head or that I have written down that I just would take multiple sessions to get to you guys possibly even knowing, but like I'm just already excited for it.
That's fun.
so it's exciting for me.
But yeah, that being said, we did want to cover the season 2 of Arcane because we really enjoyed season 1 and season 2 is finally out, and I've heard all the rage reviews for it that it's as good if not better than the first season. So
yeah, I kept seeing things on Instagram talking about how good it was and just seeing different scenes here and there, and I agree. Like you said, people just saying that it's just as good, if not better, than the first season. And the first season was phenomenal. I think I've watched that season 3 times now. Mm-hmm. First season was just great. Yeah, so great. And so far, just we talk about the first 3 episodes in this episode. So far, I mean, it's holding up. I'm like, it's got me super intrigued about so many other things. It definitely felt like season 1 was more focused on one plot line, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. You had your sort of other plot lines, like the Magitech stuff and all of them, like the council, but like you kind of, most of it was focused on Powder or Jinx and Vi and all them,
their relationship,
but now it seems like this one is gonna while that's still a part of it, there's like so many other things happening. There's a lot of other players that are getting really involved.
Right.
And I'm very intrigued to see where it's going to end up going with this season.
Yeah, same. I honestly, my feeling at the end of season 1 was it's a beautiful, tragic story. Beautifully tragic story, and I didn't think they were going to do a season 2 that was going to be a directly follow season 1. I thought they were going to maybe do a different...
Time skip it?
Or go, like, do a different part of the League of Legends kind of world to start a new story, almost like another self-contained story.
Okay, interesting, yeah.
I think I thought they had said that, but watching, especially like even the beginning of like episode 1, I was like, I'm so glad they didn't just leave it. Because it would have felt like a little bit. There's a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth at the end of season 1. Like, yeah, it's tragic. If that's the story you're telling, the tragic story, and then that's it, then I guess that's fine. But there's so much that was built up that there was like a lot of dissatisfaction because they were right on the cusp of good things, and of course, Jinx messes it up. So I was glad to see them come back and do this, and like, okay, now we're going to see the fallout of it, and we're going to see them try to pick the pieces back up. And I found myself really quickly, like, it making me feel different about the ending of season 1, because I'm like, that's not the end of the story, So those are like my general first impression thoughts. But
let's go deeper into episode. We'll start with episode 1.
Yeah.
Like you said, starts right back up right where the season 1 finished. Obviously season 1 ended with, Silco's death. Vi and Caitlyn also trapped at this table, just watching Jinx launch a rocket at the council. Mm-hmm. And if I'm correct, the council's in the process of talking about peace with the underground, or with
they were gonna give them their independence, I think.
Yeah, and I can't remember the name of the
Zon,
what they're called, the Zon,
I think.
And of course Jinx just has to go and ruin all of that. Not necessarily ruining all that because she doesn't know what's happening, but just being chaotic.
Right.
Launches a rocket, and then and like you said, it's a tragic, especially that season. And if they left it off there, I would have personally been disappointed if they didn't tell more of the story. I personally thought maybe a time skip was coming, like a year or something like that, and then we kind of see the fallout of it. I would have been disappointed if they just kind of left it at that, because I felt there's a lot unfinished, like you said. But they didn't. They came right back up where it left off, and you get to see the aftermath. You get to see the destruction in the council room. The few people that have died from it, including Caitlyn's mother.
Yeah, which that's kind of like feels like season 1. Obviously, spoilers for season 1. Season 1, the kind of the like inciting. The thing that really kind of kicks off the story is the death of Vander. Mm-hmm. And so in this one, it's really it feels like to me like it's the death of Caitlyn's mom that really, like certainly like the death of Silco is a big thing going on down in, the underworld, Zon, but the like drama seems to be turning around Caitlyn's mom being dead, and how that throws Vi and Caitlyn's relationship into flux, and like her being kind of this driving force of like retribution on Zon and Jinx, and so that seems to be like the kind of linchpin, sort of.
I mean, yeah, I think that, and the destruction of the council in whole, like the attack on the upper city is kind of, like you said, that the driving factor. But obviously, a lot of the story is at least in these first few episodes, is following Caitlin.
Right.
Caitlin and Vi, and Caitlin dealing with the aftermath of finding out that her mother's dead, and dead from Jinx, who is Vi's sister.
Right.
We get definitely these interesting interactions between the two characters. Where Caitlin, in the first episode, not as much so, but I mean, you could tell she's getting. I mean, she's angry, and she's ready to go hunting Jinx, and she's trying to get Vi to come along.
Right.
They have a relationship. They have their relationship, and Caitlin wants Vi to come along to hunt down Jinx, and it's interesting. I lost my train of thought.
What's interesting is it's like there's this jeopardy. It's in jeopardy a little bit because Vi's connection to Jinx, and Vi feels the guilt of like, this is my sister, and it's like kind of my responsibility. I should have dealt with her, and she like finally makes that admission. Powder's dead. Like, my sister's dead. I just want to help make this right. But the place that Caitlin's at, she's like, I'm done doing this, like, by going rogue. We're gonna do this. We're gonna follow
through the law,
by the book. Yeah, because like in season 1, I think she definitely was bending her like morals a little bit, going outside of the chain of command and all these things. I think she sees that as part of the problem of why things went the way they did, and so I think she says at one point, my mom paid the cost, and so she wants Vi to be join the force or whatever.
Which Vi is initially very against or hesitant to do,
right?
Because Vi is, she's a member of she is grew up down in Zon. That's her home. Doesn't feel right about joining the law up top to go down below and hunt down.
Yeah. Right.
And it's they're in a very precarious situation where everything is kind of teetering on the edge of all-out warfare with the upper city and Zon. And we definitely see that in this. Is it this episode or the next episode? Where they have the speech that's being
memorial.
Given. The memorial.
Yeah, no, it's this episode. It's the first episode where they're doing the memorial.
That's right. That's what kind of drives Vi to actually doing it, right?
Yeah.
To joining the force.
I think that that's where she's at the end of the episode, because she. Yeah. Because Vi.
These members of Zon come in, and there's a memorial being held for the fallen council members, and Vi's there, and other characters are there, and members of Zon. One of the gangs attacks the memorial, tries to kill the councilwoman, and obviously Vi jumps in, Caitlin jumps in, and like I said, we're in this space where you're right at the edge of all-out conflict, and you have people in the upper city that are being like, we should sue for peace. We shouldn't, go invade Zon.
This is just Jinx. Like, they're like, this is just Jinx.
This is just a Jinx thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have others who are saying, no, Zon's a problem and we need to invade. And this is also where you get the new, not a new character, but newer important character, which is Ambessa. The one councilwoman, I cannot remember her name, her mom.
Oh, it starts with an M.
I know the mom's name is Ambessa. Hold on. Arcane.
Medarda.
Goodness gracious.
I think.
Medarda's the last name. But I guess it'd be Councilwoman Medarda.
Oh, wait. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Because Ambessa's the mom.
Oh, okay.
I actually can't find Mel. Her name's just Mel.
It is with them. Okay.
But her mom is making is who don't exactly remember where she even came from because she's not from the upper city.
Right.
She's got her own area, her own place that she kind of sailed in from in the first season. But she is one of the forces that's pushing towards invading Zon. The problem is we don't yet know why, because we know she doesn't necessarily care about the politics of the city.
Yeah. It seems like she wants the Hex Tech. It seems like she I mean, like, I remember in season 1, you know, she has this, her view is like, you've got to have the biggest, everybody's got to know that you're the biggest, baddest, so that, and be afraid of you for safety, you know. And so this idea that we're not going to use Hex Tech as weapons is super short-sighted, and someone else is going to go out and get the technology and stuff. So I think that's kind of her, she's trying to push this opportunity to see Hex Tech more weaponized and see that proliferated, at least to her military, I think.
But I also feel like there's something else going on, because there's some things mentioned, I'm pretty sure this was in episode 2, where you have that, like, witch character.
Right.
That she kind of faced off against. I mean, there's just some things that were said and things that they talk about that just makes it seem like it's not necessarily Hex Tech, it's she's searching for something in Zon.
Yeah, because she does say, like, what you're looking for. Yeah. And I mean, they did say, because, like, her daughter's kind of spying on her in that same episode. I remember her, the spy or whatever, saying, or maybe it was Mel saying, that someone's frozen most of her mom's assets. So she's, like, kind of in a desperate place. You know, but yeah, she obviously knows, she's obviously something that she's trying to get at there. I'm not sure.
But that's definitely part of the intrigue that I have of, like, what does she actually want?
Right.
What is she after here in this city? Because, you know, she came for a reason.
Yeah, maybe maybe it is something down in the, because she's pushing to go down and invade so much. Maybe there is something down there that she wants to find.
But also, I guess we'll go to this too. In the aftermath of the explosion, Victor is injured. You have Jason and Victor, who worked on the Hex Tech. Victor was injured, and somehow Jace intermingled Victor with the Hex Tech.
Well, he was already kind of intermingled.
Something with blood from the first season. He, like, gave his blood to it.
Yeah, he gave his blood to it, and then it, like, started doing some things, and then there was, like, this moment where, in the first season, where he was doing, like, an experiment with it, and as he was doing it, one of their, like, assistants walked in, and it, like, drew on her, basically, and basically killed her, and then attached itself to him, like, and kind of partially made his body, like, you know, look different and stuff, like, showing this transformation. And so at that point he was like, we have to destroy the Hex Core, and he tells Jace to do it, you know, you got to destroy it. But then there's all this the stuff that's going on that is kind of they're kind of caught up in all that stuff at the very end of the season, and so he's in the room whenever the bomb goes off, and I guess he's like really hurt. So Jace recognizes that the Hex Core seems to want to, like, help him or something, and so he just goes with it, and then it puts him in this, like, cocoon kind of thing.
Yeah, and this is where the show also gets just, like, both intriguing and also really weird.
Yeah, I was kind of for it. Like, not necessarily.
I'm all about it. Don't get me wrong. It's just strange.
It is strange. But yeah, it's almost like it's, like, becoming sentient or something, or I don't know, or is it always been sentient?
Well, then then you get to, pretty sure it's the end of episode 2. He, Victor wakes up and he leaves Jace. He's basically just like, Hex Tech was not good. We shouldn't be messing around with it. He's reminded of the girl that died.
Yeah.
And he goes down to the underground, and he almost is like a messiah figure coming in, and he's able to heal these people of this ailment that they have.
Yeah, he's full on wizard, like
Yeah, it's
with a
just
staff and everything.
it's so interesting, and I'm just like, once again, I'm just like, we're only 3 episodes in, but I'm just like so curious as to what's gonna happen.
Yeah, because like the hex core, I think disappeared, right? Like whenever the hex core intermingled with him, it's not like still on the table anymore. I think it's a part
I
of
think
him.
so, yeah. Yeah, I
So
think so.
I don't know to what degree he's how in control he is, or is this going to be some kind of progression to his transformation? Maybe he'll become like a almost like a voice for the arcane magic, because that's something that's going on too. Is you have in the underground like city that's all surrounded by that tree, or like supported by that big tree. They start to notice some things are going on down there. I think that's in episode 2 as well.
Yeah.
And there's like weird stuff appearing on the tree leaves and stuff. Remind me of Rings of Power.
Yeah.
But so that's so they start investigating that, and there's like
Echo and Heimendinger.
Yeah, the dynamic duo.
That whole sneaking scene of them sneaking into it's just so funny.
Yeah, Heimdallr just running full on through the vents. He's so tiny.
He's just like, he says some code phrase, and Echo's just like, code phrases only work if you talk about it beforehand, right?
Yeah,
nice little levity in a show that's been pretty gruesome and dark.
Yeah, I'm glad Heimdallr's still around.
I really like Heimendinger. I also really like Echo.
Yeah, I like Echo too. Yeah.
Yeah, they meet up with Jace and talk a little bit more about the hex tech, and then they kind of are trying to. You're right. They're trying to figure out what's going on with the tree, because there's this almost like decay or hex tech, something going on with this tree that's underground that they're using as a base or a home.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll just go ahead. The whole hex tech stuff so far has been pretty short in these 3 episodes. The 3 episodes that definitely focused a lot more on like Jinx,
right,
Vi, and Caitlyn and all that. But I mean, you do get they kind of deduce a lot of the stuff that's going on, Jace and Echo and Heimendinger, and they go down to, I guess, this I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, some kind of thing. It's supposed to be like what's channeling for the gates, because I kind of forgot about, like at one point in season 1 they developed these gates where it's essentially like a transportation teleportation kind of technology to get around the world faster, and so they've got this huge kind of hex thing that's underground, and but when they get down there, it looks like kind of like the hex core, like it looks like it's kind of come alive and stuff, and they're like, whoa, that's weird.
Then you get this really trippy
super
scene.
trippy, and there's like awesome music, like in Arcane, true Arcane fashion. Awesome music. But let's pause that part, because that coincides with some stuff that culminates with Vi and Caitlyn and everything. So like on the Vi, Caitlyn, Jinx side of things, you have some interesting stuff going on with Jinx, where she is running into this is a little kid that attaches herself to Jinx, because Jinx, she like falls on Jinx, and then they're about to get jumped by some gang members, and Jinx takes them out, and so that kid kind of takes a shine to Jinx, and then Jinx also goes back to Silco's old office and like runs into, I forget her name with the arm.
I gotcha. It's Sevica? Is that what it is?
It might be, actually.
Sev?
That sounds plausible.
I think it's Sevica. Or Sev for short.
Yeah. So Sevica's trying to like get the gang leaders to stop taking each other out, killing each other, doing this turf war thing because she recognizes that only helps the topsiders if they're not unified, or at least if they're like knocking each other down. But she's her arm's still messed up from from Vi dismantling her arm in the first
whooping
season.
her tail in the first season.
Yeah, so she's kind of she can't really back up a lot of her attempts and stuff like that. So Jinx runs into her and gives her like this awesomely Jinx arm where she has to like just like pull this thing. It's like a slot machine every time she wants to see like what it's gonna do. It just does random things. That was a fun fight scene with her and Jinx and Go-Go Gadget rat guy.
Yeah. The Jinx's character is just so interesting with all of the just her aesthetic, like you said, with the arm and like how she has to pull like a jackpot thing, and it randomly some random ability happens, and it's just fun. And then watching Seb, figure out this new arm and this new budding partnership with the two, it's just very interesting. I also want to take a moment right here to say too, because I this action scene was really, really fun. But I just want to go ahead and praise the animators for Arcane again, because not only is it just a crisp, clean art style, the painterly art style, but man, their scenes, like the vibrant colors, the like neon lights, the way they do their action scenes, it's just so visually appealing, and the visual storytelling too. Is just second to none. I mean, they really are. It is really some of the best animation.
Yeah, there's so much attention in those scenes. The music's always I love the music too. Adding so much to it.
Music's always really, really good. Music's really good, and then like the attention to detail of different things that are happening.
Yeah. You have Caitlyn, who has like discovered like a family secret kind of thing. There's something called the Gray that's like some kind of gas that was, I don't know if it was naturally occurring down in the underworld or whatever, but I guess her family set up some kind of vent system to like keep the air clean. And so there's this interesting thing where, Vi does end up signing up along with another, I don't remember his name, but I don't even know if we hear a name for him, but I
don't think we ever do.
There's another, Zon person that like joins as well. And then there's like, so this is like this crew that goes down with Caitlyn, like a strike team. And they're all badged up and everything, but they go down and they're wearing these masks, and they're basically using this gray smog kind of stuff to like go into these areas and clean out the people that they're trying to get a lead on Jinx, but they're cleaning out along the way. They're like taking out people that are dealing drugs and
mind you too, they've also at this point gone to Jace, and they've gotten all new hex tech weapons. Right. Vi's got her gloves back. Caitlyn's got this new hex tech rifle. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so they are now starting to use hex tech as weapons.
Right. Yeah. And so Jinx also, becomes aware during this time that how far she sees Vi going, that Vi's down there, has come down to hunt her. You can see like there's still clear like conflictedness and emotion from her. At one point, she's pointing her gun at Vi. She's got her dead to rights in this smog or whatever. She's up in the rafters aiming at Vi, and she just can't pull the trigger. And then, tear drops down. Vi sees it splash down on some goggles and, looks for whatever, and Jinx runs away. So you have that tension heightening. Vi is kind of trying to be resolved and support Caitlyn. Jinx is like kind of embracing that I just kill everyone that's around me and my family, and anyone else's family. Like she just kind of is embracing that she's a force of chaos and destruction or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's got some plan she's cooking up at the same time that they figure out. Are we leaving anything out? Should we move on to like the kind of
no? Let's go ahead and
climactic
hit up
scene.
The end of episode 3.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, throughout all this, we'll just mention it. It was kind of mentioned earlier, but we'll mention it again. Caitlyn is progressively seeming more and more angry and aggressive, specifically towards Jinx. And she, Jinx did kill her mom and all that. Not necessarily like intentionally killed just her mom, but she did kill her mom, and so she's angry. But you see it getting progressively, and Vi talks to her about it. Vi kind of, hints at like, hey, you're maybe going a little bit too far with a lot of stuff. And that leads into this final little conflict in this third episode. They track down Jinx, Vi, and well, their whole crew kind of do, but then Vi and Caitlyn send the rest of their crew back up to the top, and they go in alone. And so then you get this nice intro, this really cool, visually speaking and storytelling wise, battle fight scene between Jinx and Vi, and then you have Caitlyn versus Sev.
Yeah, and simultaneously, you have Echo, Heimendinger, and Jace down there with the weird hex core thing down there. Full on tripping out because it's like they're like Jace like touches it, and well, he doesn't touch it. He gets close to touching it, and he like sees like a bunch of copies of himself, and then you see like Echo is like, I don't know, it's just like it looks like they're on LSD essentially. And while that's happening, it's like messing with the hex tech. It's like everything that has hex tech on the other side with like Vi's gloves are like malfunctioning on and off. Yeah, Caitlyn's gun, and I don't think the arm is her arm's messing up.
I don't remember.
But all the hex tech stuff is like messing up and malfunctioning and like glitching like in the real world. It's really weird and visually interesting.
That's a lot where that visual storytelling comes in, where you see, during the fight, you see all the glitching and stuff happening. It's just, it's very, the way the animators just incorporate all that even into the fight scene is just really cool.
Right. And the music at the same time, like the music, it's like, and the slow-mo, like I love how there's like Vi has something that she rips in half that Jinx has at one part. It's just like, just an awesome Vi moment.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
But you have this battle, and it comes to the conclusion you kind of assume is coming to where Vi overpowers Jinx.
Yeah.
Gets her on this table, has her fist raised up, ready to pound her in. Kind of has a moment. Jinx is just like, do it. And then this is where that little girl comes back in, and she runs up, jumps on top of Jinx, and points Jinx's gun at Vi. And Vi is, she's you can see in her face, she's just like, well, this is a kid. Like, I'm not just gonna pummel this kid just to kill Jinx.
Yeah.
Caitlyn, on the other hand, does not seem to care. And she is ready to go. She aims her gun and is getting ready to go fire off on this, fire at Jinx, possibly hitting the kid, and Vi gets up and stops her. Do you think have this?
Oh, what were you saying?
No, go ahead.
Do you think? So, like, I was trying to like think about it. Like, do I think that? Because like we've seen Caitlyn, we know she's a dead shot. It's like, and the kid's on top of Jinx. She definitely was in between Vi and Jinx, but it seemed like I kind of agree with Caitlyn's point a little bit. Like, I wouldn't have missed What do you think about that?
I think it's possible that she wouldn't have missed, but I agree with Vi that that's not the point. The point, and Vi kind of gets to it pretty quickly, is just like, you could have shot the kid. There's a little kid here, and you basically, what she ends up saying is, you're being as bloodthirsty as Jinx is right now. You know, you're being more like her than Jinx is. And you even kind of see this with Jinx too in this moment. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with this. Is this kid coming up and jumping on top of Jinx and protecting her almost seems to soften Jinx a little bit. You know, she doesn't have a moment where she's like, no, this isn't how it's supposed to go. But then, like, at the same time, the kid is there. The kid is saving her, trying to rescue her. The kid cares about her for some reason. And I'm wondering if this is going to somehow soften Jinx. Yeah. Where Jinx isn't going to be as bloodthirsty and murder crazy as she was in the first season. Because remember, the first season, she's a broken character. Jinx is she wasn't like that. She was a kid. She was raised by Silco and raised to be a broken person.
Right.
You know, and that's what led to the events that happened in the season 1. You know, maybe this with Sev and then with this little girl is the path to, you know, almost, I don't want to say redemption, but redemption for her, you know?
Well, you know, she's got this in her head that anyone that she's near, anyone she cares about, she'll end up being the reason they die. And so I can definitely see that being something that either is going to mess with her or maybe challenge her, that view of herself, that maybe someone else sees her not that way, sees her as a protector. And yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with Vi where Caitlyn in this moment is 100% being the bloodthirsty one, where all she can think about is killing Jinx. It doesn't matter the casualties, it doesn't matter the collateral. And I'm almost, and you know, with how episode 3 ends, you know, obviously it ends with Ambessa standing up being like, we need to have a general to take over and go destroy, you know, take over Zon, basically. You know, and then it ends up being Ambessa ends up calling out Caitlyn, saying, Caitlyn, you're the general, come up. And I'm almost wondering if Caitlyn and that group of people are almost going to end up being the bad guys, and Jinx is going to end up somehow being good.
Yeah.
Theoretically, this could also be one of those more like grayish areas where it's just like no one's really good or bad, and you can kind of see the good and bad of both sides. But the way that Caitlyn's starting to act, I'm almost like you know, I stand firmly with I stand more firmly with Vi in this moment. Where, like, I agree with you. I think that she probably could have made the shot, but that's not the point.
Yeah. Well, and like Caitlyn, if she, you know, Caitlyn is playing into whatever, was it Ambessa?
Ambessa.
Caitlyn's playing into whatever Ambessa's trying to do. So she's being manipulated. Because she is tired of, you know, trying, like, doing the right thing or whatever is not getting her what she wants, get the result she wants, you know, which is, I think, like you said, I see what you're saying, kind of makes a good point in Vi's favor of who are you becoming, you know. Like, that's the thing Vi is kind of concerned about. That's part of the reason Vi's down there, I think, is not just about taking care of Jinx, but trying to make sure Caitlyn doesn't get, like, lost and change because of this, you know, which she is changing.
Anger leads to hate.
Hate.
Or no, hate leads to... I don't remember. Hold on.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate.
There it is.
It's just suffering.
There you go. And that's what's going to happen. And really, all this really is this is just... Arcane is just a prequel to the prequels of Star Wars.
Well, there's a lot of fear leading to anger and anger leading to hate. That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
So like the last thing we see from Jace and his crew is him like swinging his hammer towards the hex core thing and then kind of disappearing.
Yeah,
which makes sense if that thing was like used for transportation.
I'm just super curious to see where all that's going.
Yeah.
And then also, and we can kind of start wrapping it up here. We end episode 3 with Mel, the councilwoman, getting swallowed up
by that rose,
like
witchcraft
rose
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
That was weird. And so I wonder where she's creepy.
Right.
I don't know. I'm like just. And then you also have the beast thing. I have
those
no
experiments,
clue what
the experiments or whatever that guy's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he seemed to have some kind of gray that he used with that thing, and then he's like got hearts that are like pumping stuff to some giant machine or monster or something.
I think I might have spoiled it for me. I think I might know what that monster is. I'm not going to say it. I'll let you know if I'm right.
Okay.
When we record.
Oh, did you just look at something?
To that point. Looking at the characters on here.
Oh, there's like a name of a character.
There's a name with an image, and I think I was like, that's weird. I wonder if that's. And then now that I think about it, I think I might know. So
interesting.
Anyway, but yeah. I'm very excited for the rest of season 2. Excited to talk about it some more, see where things go.
Yeah, I guess our next episode probably will cover episode 4 through 6 because it's split up into 3 parts. So we'll see.
Sounds good.
See how bad things get.
Well, I'm sure it's gonna get real bad. I mean, considering the season 1 ended with that ending.
Yeah. Right.
Can we imagine where they're gonna go?
I just want to see Vi happy.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know. Just like I always want to see Kaladin happy.
Yeah, she is kind of the Kaladin of this
She can't
show.
win.
Yeah.
Just can't win. But anyway.
Well, I think that was a enjoyable discussion. So thank you for that.
I hope everybody enjoys listening to it.
Yeah. But we'll say, as we do, that this has been the Bridgetube podcast. A far, far away bridge.